Hey, hey. I don't know if I like this. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome into the space. Hey, good afternoon, DeQuincia. Good afternoon. Peace and blessings. Good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? How's everybody doing? Let's see my face. Good afternoon. I think that's Tarina. Oh, I miss you too, DeQuincy. I miss you as well. Miss you too. I miss you too. Give you a few minutes to get in. Good afternoon, Tarina. Yes, good. Good afternoon. See if y'all can hear my mute face card. Beautiful. Thank you, love. Thank you. Thank you. I want some music. Can y'all hear my music a little bit? Hey, hey, welcome into the space. I want to talk a little bit, but see, I don't like how this looks over at Instagram. It's a little interesting how it looks over there. Yes, a little bit. Hi, I don't know who that is. Fortnite channel. Hello, welcome. Welcome. I'm Lady Jacera. Welcome to the sanctuary, the Oasis Sanctuary. Y'all can hear that a little bit? I'll turn it up a little bit. You see how my light went out? Wait a minute, let me get this light. Hey, look, I got more people. I'll be right back. Hey, hey, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. Do me a favor. Like and share. As a matter of fact, I want you to love this video. Love it and share it. We're going to talk a little bit. Hi, Angela. I don't know who that is. Hey. Welcome to the sanctuary. I am Lady J, Lady Jacera. It's been a minute since I have gone live on Facebook and YouTube. Come on in the space. Let me know how y'all doing. How y'all doing? I don't plan to be on too long, but I do want to chat a little bit. Don. What's Don? Is that, looks like that's somebody over at YouTube. That's YouTube community. Hey, Don, welcome into the space. I'm going to wait until I get to 10. See 10 people, then I'm going to get started. These numbers are doing weird things here. If you're still here, put a 1 in the chat. Let me know you're still here. One. Okay. Thank you. 1. This is okay. It's showing me different numbers, y'all. I was saying one thing and okay. Maybe about 1 or 2 more minutes, then we'll get started. Where y'all tuning in from? Where y'all tuning in from? I'm in Georgia. It's cold here in Georgia. Well, I might be exaggerating. Well, no, it is cold. It's cold. It's cold. It's not as cold as Michigan weather. Not as cold as Michigan weather. Where y'all tuning in from? And what is the weather like? YouTube. Yeah, I see Memphis, Tennessee, Maryland. What is the weather like? I hear Maryland is cold and a little gloomy. I think it's cool. Okay, cool. What's the weather like in Memphis? Little cold. Cold as Gonzales. It's a little colder. Okay, it's cold. Yeah, it's cold. Okay. All right. So let's chat a little bit. I let me cut the music down because I might be competing with the music now a little bit. Okay. Look at that. It want to take my can y'all still see me? That's so funny, these lights. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit and just share some things that's on my heart. Last night I had an opportunity to go live on TikTok for the very first time. And if you're not following me over in TikTok, on TikTok, go ahead and follow me over there, the Oasis Sanctuary. Um, because I am, I'm expanding and I am taking some bold risk in social media. I'm a lady. I don't know who you are that says hey bro, but I'm a woman. I have been having some interesting experiences. I was on TikTok earlier today, and this guy was so rude. I had to block him. I was like, oh my gosh, you get ready for this. People on social media, this is what you get. And you know what? I realized one of the reasons I've been hesitant about really, really building a consistent presence on social media is because of how rude and inconsiderate people can be. And people are bullies on social media. They hide behind social media. It's amazing to me things that you say online that you probably would never say to my face. So that's very interesting. I had a very interesting experience on TikTok. So I want to talk about something. On TikTok last night, I was talking about I ended up in a discussion around self-trust, and I challenged the viewing audience to learn how to lead from their heart and not their head. And that's something that we traditionally are not taught to do. And so let me give a little backdrop when I said lead from your heart, not your head. I was talking a lot about how we have been really conditioned to sometimes overthink things. We've been conditioned to be extremely logical. And meanwhile, we dismiss what is intuitive to us. We dismiss the thing that is um, the thing that's in our hearts that is exposing the things that we may not even be able to articulate with our minds. We can feel, we can sense, or we can understand here without understanding here. And sometimes the reason why we struggle with that, it goes back to what we've been taught, once again, how we've been taught to show up. And this part of us that has not really developed healthy autonomy around having our own sense of thought, right? So the title of my live today is, what kind of mind do you have as an adult? Because I came across an alarming statistic today that said that maybe 1% of adults, maybe 1% of adults engage in intentional transformational growth experiences. And this is connected to how we develop our minds and what we expose ourselves to. I thought that statistic was alarming, right? So if maybe 1% of us as adults are engaging in intentional growth transformational experiences, what is the other 99% doing? What are we doing? How are we living and showing up as adults? How are we living and showing up as an adult? So tell me real quick if what I'm saying, if you're tracking with what I'm saying. Say yes, tracking in the chat, or just say yes, I'm tracking. If you're tracking with what I'm saying. If you're tracking, if you're around, I may have a slow. Okay. Tarina says, yes, I'm tracking. This might be a slow response. So I was thinking last night after I got off of the live and I had challenged the viewing audience to tap back in and to learn how to trust their intuition and learn how to lean into the thing, that gut feeling that they have as it pertains to showing up not only as a leader. I talked about not only as a leader in corporate spaces, but also as a leader in religious spaces, as a leader in your home. Essentially, I was talking about self-leadership. And this is what I've come to understand about a lot of adults. A lot of adults would prefer to be led than to do the work to lead themselves and to trust themselves. And that's pretty fascinating to me because as a person, the way that I'm wired and the way that I think, and I've been like this even as a kid, where I didn't want people thinking for me, nor did I want people to tell me what to think. I think that one of the things that was I see as a gift was that I always was an independent thinker, and I was not afraid as a child to ask why. And I was fortunate to have a parent, to have a father who engaged my curiosity, and I wasn't punished for having my own thought and for exploring. And this was like 12 years old. And from a developmental perspective, that really is the age when you really begin to like form identity, form healthy sense of autonomy. You begin to form an ideal of self, right? And what I'm coming to understand is that for many adults are stuck there between the ages of 12 and 13. And hear me out. And I don't mean any disrespect or harm, because I'm talking about how we show up in our relationships, how we show up, first of all, in our relationship with self. And many of us do not trust ourselves to make decisions that are in our best interest. Many of us don't trust ourselves to challenge the things that we know in our heart doesn't feel right and doesn't feel authentic. Many of us shy away from that, and there's this cognitive dissonance that takes place when there is something that may challenge what we have been told or what we believe is the best way to go, because it's been That's because what we've seen is a pattern, right? And a lot of times we don't like to challenge. We don't like to go against the grain. And I'm not talking about being difficult just to be difficult. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when there is, and I'll give you an example. One of the things that I have down through the years, I've kind of thought about back and forth, because I grew up in the church. I and I'll put myself out here. This is fine. But growing up in the church, there was a period of time where I felt like sex before marriage was a sin. Okay. And hear me, before you know, jump off and go to judge me, I want you to kind of hear what I'm saying. Just kind of hear and allow yourself to lean into the discomfort, because here's another truth. Whenever something is said that may go against what we may have been raised to believe, or something that we have told ourselves is right, whenever we hear contrary, we're quick to try to we're quick to put up a wall of defense, because just even in our bodies it feels weird. This feels like, oh my God, this is going against everything that I know, right? So even just me saying that, I could feel that maybe some people, and even if you come back and watch the replay, are like, are feeling some kind of way, particularly if you were raised in the Christian church, the Black Christian church, like I was, right? You might feel like I have completely lost you know, because I said what I said. But I want you to just kind of lean into the discomfort with me for the sake of even proving a point here. So for years, I felt like sex before marriage was wrong. And I did not engage in sexual activity the bulk of my adult life because I was afraid and I thought I was wrong. Now, it wasn't until I got into my 40s, and I know I don't look a bit over 25. I don't look a bit over 25, but it wasn't until I got into my 40s that I began to say, wow, why do I really believe this? Do I really believe this? Or am I taking this on because I was told that if I didn't, that I would burn, or that God wouldn't love me, or that I would be punished, or that it would cause me to not represent Christ the way that I was raised, right? So one day I allowed myself to kind of go with that, go down that trail of thought. And what I arrived at was, I don't know that I really believed that. I believed it because I was told, but it led me into a critical, scholarly. Melba said she was told the same thing, but she went right for it. I didn't go right for it immediately. I didn't go right. I had to go through this process of studying on my own, questioning why, engaging in critical thought. And I realized as a grown adult, 40 plus years old, that I no longer had to live according to the expectations of the religion or the faith that I was raised in, or the family belief, right, that I was raised in, and that I wasn't going to be punished in that way. And if I was, then I began to say, well, then what kind of God am I really serving here? A God that is that punitive because I may choose to have sex outside of a marriage commitment, right? I'm not telling nobody to do what I'm doing. I'm proving a point here. I'm not telling anybody to believe what I have worked through. That's not the point of this video. I'm not trying to convince anybody to do or to believe like Jacera. That's not the point. My point is this. Far too often We've not given ourselves permission as adults. This is even as adults, to challenge, to explore, to question, right? To think outside of the confinements of what we've been taught. We don't even a lot of times allow ourselves to go there a split second. When we do, if you're raised in a church, you're bringing that in and then you're calling it the devil, right? And if you're not raised in the church, I've come to understand that when people, if it's outside of the church, that people just generally don't like to do the work to critically think. They don't like to typically do the work to investigate, because investigation, when you do investigate and when you do critically think, there is a responsibility and accountability that comes with that. The more you know, right? When you know to do better, you do better. When you've been exposed to things when you've been exposed to more and when you've come to understand more, the things that you may have tolerated before or the things that you may have accepted before, you no longer do, because guess what? You have a greater understanding. You have a greater sense of awareness that says, hey, I have options. I don't have to, my brain doesn't have to just think this one way. There are many forks in the road that I can consider when it comes to critical thinking and developing those skills as adults. So, there are three different kinds of minds that I want to highlight today. Now, according to Robert Kagan, and he is a psychologist who actually did this research, his dissertation around this topic. He talked about 5 different developmental stages for adults and this whole notion of self-leadership. I'm only going to highlight three today. The first mind is the socialized mind. Okay. The socialized mind is the mind that only does what society says is the right thing to do. When it comes to the self concept, then the adult that engages and lives according to the socialized mind, that person is doing what society says or thinks what society says I should think. They don't think for themselves, right? They think according to the system, the expectations that um, the world, that the church has put out there for them, right? So they're socialized, right? They don't at all. There's any time, and they're comfortable not leaning into discomfort. The moment they experience any discomfort, they turn the other way. Okay, that's the socialized mind. The second one I want to highlight is the self-authoring mind. The self-authoring mind is the mind that begins to question and explore. It's the adult, like what I explained about myself. In my 40s, I started saying to myself, do I really believe that? And why do I believe that? And the truth was, I held on to the belief out of fear, not because I truly believed it. I was afraid of consequences, and I was afraid of not pleasing my parents. I was afraid of me feeling as though God would be mad at me. I was afraid of what people would think about me because I was a leader in the church, because I was an ordained minister, all of these things. I was afraid of what people would say and how they would perceive me. But I began to question that self-authoring. I began to draw my own conclusions through investigation, through study, through inquiry, right? Through exposure. And I also began to, in the self-authoring stage, I began to embrace the shadow parts of me, the parts of me that people would say was bad. I no longer as I was engaging that mindset, no longer felt like I had to criticize or belittle that part of me. Hey, Cheryl. I felt as if I could embrace that as well as the light. And one of the things I was saying over in the live yesterday on TikTok was that at that stage is you learning how to dance with this and that. It's not it's not this and that. It's this or that, rather. It's this and that. So just like when we think of God, and a lot of times we assign a gender to God, and really God is spirit, right? Neither male or female. As a matter of fact, we could say that God possesses um, um, masculine energies as well as feminine aspects, right? But it's the vastness of who God is and embracing that. And when it comes to self-authoring, it's no longer putting that pressure on ourselves to say, oh, I can't be this and that. I have to be this or that. And the truth is, you can be both and. So that's the self-authoring. It's moving from what do they think to what do I think. What do I think? And then the last mindset is the interconnected mind or the evolving mind. The evolving mind says this: there really are no rules. The evolving mind says that I can accept what society and what you may have said and what somebody else may have said, and I can choose to just do and come unapologetically as I choose, right? It's also the mind that is constantly growing. It's not one that ever gets stuck or is ever static. It's constantly exposing yourself to new teachings, exposing yourself to new perspectives, challenging yourself. It's not looking for people to agree with you. Because the other piece to this is sometimes when you're engaging in that authoring mind, you want to connect with people who are like minded, versus when you are engaging in the interconnected, when you're engaging in the evolving mind, you can abandon that notion and engage with somebody who doesn't think like you, who doesn't believe like you, and it's all gravy, right? It's the embracing, it's the inclusivity of all of those things. And so I wanted to hop on here and challenge us because I think some of us are developmentally stuck. And I think some of us are stuck because of trauma. And I think some of us are stuck because of deep, deep, deep seated conditioning. I think some of us also are stuck because we are afraid of our brains. We're afraid of our minds, right? We're afraid that if I challenge my mind, and listen, I was having a conversation with someone. There's a difference between your brain, your mind, and then I started off talking about the heart. So the person that is the evolved mind or the evolved person is the person that has learned how to integrate their intuition, integrate their heart, integrate the things somatically, even if they're not able to put their hand on it directly. They're engaging all of those things about themselves to arrive at a decision or to draw a conclusion. And therefore, they're not leading out of logic. They're leading essentially from the heart that has learned how to challenge what the mind has engaged in, I hope y'all are following me, to challenge what the mind has engaged in when a lot of times the rigidity that the mind has this way of when we have not exposed ourselves to new things, new information, we can become very, very rigid, very, very rigid. And it ultimately is resistance. So I want to kind of encourage us today, right? Ask ourselves, are we stuck? Are we afraid to see and to explore something different? Because when you are in that socialized mind, I'm going to tell you something. Staying there, you become a candidate for being tricked, manipulated, resentful, bitter, because the socialized mind, you're living according to everybody else's expectations. And when you do that, after so long, it creates resentment and even jealousy when you see other people living their truth and living it unapologetically. Okay. So I just wanted to hop on here and say that. I hope that makes sense. I want to extend this. I want to extend this opportunity too, because once again, and please love this video, share it, tell other people about it, because in my work with adults, what I'm finding out more and more that a huge part of the work that we're engaging in order to help them to move forward, me working with women, I also have male clients, but I work primarily with women. Um, the the lack of uh, work that we're willing to engage in as it pertains to thinking for ourselves, as it pertains to exploring for ourselves, really is alarming. It's alarming. And this isn't that we are living in a time. Let me see what is Rob saying here. I find it very frustrating to see mainly our people not putting forth effort to think. For me, some people will just follow someone blind. You're absolutely right. Right. So you all have heard the saying that if you want to hide something from Black people, that you put it in a book. That is highly insulting, and it's also very telling, because in an information age and at a time when we have access to so much, there's no reason for us to remain oblivious, ignorant, uninformed, and ill equipped. If we are still walking around like that, it's because we're choosing to be that. We don't have to be that. Um, so I'm finding that there are a lot of adults who still feel as though they need permission. And part of my work is I have this power method that I use as a bridge to kind of help people, women, to move from performance based leadership to embodied sacred leadership, right? It's, and a part of that power method is permission. The P is for permission. And it's almost like we still are waiting for our parents or whomever authority figures to write out our permission slips for us, not really understanding that we have permission to live and to do and to challenge and to exist the way that we choose. And that ultimately that our relationship with God, higher source, um, or whomever you, whatever you believe, that is your responsibility. And I really believe many of us are stuck developmentally, we're stuck psychologically, we're stuck spiritually. We won't explore anything beyond Christianity because if we do, then that means that we don't love God, or it means that we're trying to be quote unquote rebellious. That means that um, we have a demonic spirit, we're entertaining demonic spirits. I don't know. This is what I realize. As humans, it's this thing in us that want to tell people what to do. We want to tell people what to do, but we fail to tell ourselves what to do. Right? Did I just start my channel? No. Was that your question? Did I just start my channel? No. Self-evaluation is a must. It is a must. People fear what they don't understand. People do fear what they don't understand. That's very true. People fear what they don't understand. And also, people fear anything that does not sound like what they're accustomed to. So I'm gonna give you another example. Yes, yeah, this isn't my first time on YouTube. I just am gonna go live a little more. um, so I want to be intentional about continuing to build the brand. But let me give you another example. I am I am a Reiki practitioner, right? And a Reiki practitioner is one who works, does energy work, does chakras, work with chakra balancing and chakra alignment, and the energy centers to kind of help. The belief is that we're all energetically tied, and that depending on how we engage and what we engage, our energetic field and aura is impacted. And so I do the work to kind of help to restore and heal and transmute energy, right? I'm an energy worker, a Reiki practitioner, Reiki master. We fail to tell ourselves what to do. Yes, we do fail. We fail to tell ourselves what to do, because if we tell ourselves what to do, then if it fails, then we have to hold ourselves accountable. But here's the other piece to that. The other side to the coin is that it also establishes self-trust and healthy autonomy. And we are too dependent, when the truth is, when it comes to relationships, and we're too dependent on systems. When it comes to relationships and things of that nature, we need to move towards interdependence. So let me say this before I forget. So I practice Reiki, right? Now, when Christian people hear me say this, because I was raised in a Christian church, the very first thing that I notice is that people take issue with it. But it's only because it's linguistics, it's language. Because Reiki is equivalent to laying on of hands in the Black church. The very interesting thing is that when we lay hands on people in the Black church, we will put the cross right in the center here of the brow. We'll lay our hands here. We'll lay hands here. We'll lay hands on the stomach, the solar plexus, all of these areas. And listen, I have I have laid my hands on people like that in church settings, altar calls. I've watched my mother lay hands on people like that, and it's Reiki work. It's Reiki work. It's just that the world has a system that's been created. And in the world of Reiki, when I do that work, it gives me an opportunity to reach more people. But if you hear that and you're thrown off because I said Reiki versus laying on the hands, your issue is because you want to allow yourself to, hey, How you doing? Jeanette, how you doing? You want to allow yourself to embrace different terminology, right? Because it's the same thing. And we get caught up because I didn't say land on the hands because I said Reiki, right? Y'all tracking with me? And if we would just be open, yes, it's the same thing, just different wording. It's the same thing. I have so many other examples, right? But we get so caught up. Oh God. It's something else that's coming to my mind, but um thank you. I'm happy you love this topic. Good. Um I was thinking about oh boy, how take issue with mm, we take issue with like crystals, and when you look in the Bible, the priests with the priestly garments, they have crystals, and that breastplate is full of crystals, jade, God, incense, myrrh, frankincense. And we're going through changes because it's not within the confinements of how we see it. And that this is where the rigidity, this is where that psychological mental rigidity. Yeah, our brains are malleable. Yeah, I said it right. Our brains are designed to be stretched, neuroplasticity. Our brains are not designed to ever stay the same. And so when we don't expose, yes, adorned with crystals, yes, Jessica, absolutely. And it was for a reason. Even when we talk about the Ark of the Covenant, oh God, Jesus, the dimensions and how it was all strategically planned, it was for a reason. But yet, we have a problem if someone chooses to have an altar in their home, because if they have an altar in their home, they have gone too far. They're worshiping, I don't know, demonic spirits. Our brain is designed to stretch. When we go to sleep each night, our brain has the ability to replenish brain cells, neurogenesis, neuroplasticity. And the way that we exercise it is exposing it to new information. And I'm going to tell you, even when you begin to do that physiologically, you might experience a headache. You might, because it's new information. But I want to encourage us to expand our minds and to think for ourselves. We don't need permission to think. We don't need permission to challenge. We don't need permission to go and investigate. Is that making sense? I don't want to say it like this. I want to say, is any of this resonating? I'm being mindful of my words because someone brought something to my attention and said, when I hear you say, is that making sense? It sounds like you are maybe insinuating that I'm not capable of understanding. And I can see how they would feel that way, although that's not my intention. That ain't my intention. But words are important. Words are important, right? And how we say things, right? I will say this too, though. When you've exposed yourself to various types of learnings and readings, you begin to develop a resistance towards being easily offended and being super sensitive, right? Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to say that, and I want to give, if you have any questions for me, I want to give you an opportunity to ask any questions that you might have. Um, what I want to do is I want to offer what I did on TikTok. I want to offer it here. A complimentary discovery call to kind of talk about a clarity call, to kind of talk about where you are in this journey of self leadership, of self trust, of really getting clear on who you are, right? This same research said that a lot of us live in discrepancy our entire lives, this self discrepancy. Our self concept is always like, we don't really know who we are. We know who we were told to be, but we really don't know. What if you just lived the life that you felt in your heart? Once again, I was talking about the heart. And what if you purged your heart of the things that people have imposed upon you? Those imprints are so real. What if part of healing was returning to your original state? The worst thing a parent can do to a child is stop them from thinking for themselves and not create space for them to explore. That's the worst thing a parent can do. Not allow your child to make mistakes, not allow your child to learn. I'm telling y'all because I'm in the space with adults. We have a lot of adults who are stuck and who are messed up, and it's no judgment. I'm not judging. I'm raising the awareness. I'm raising the awareness is something that I have observed. It's something that I'm constantly seeing. And here's what happens. Then we look for representations of, oh my God, the things that we didn't have growing up. Then we look for it in other relationships. We look for it in our workplaces. We look for it in religion. We look for it in leadership. We are living in a time right here, right now, even politically, where if you think outside of the dominant culture, or if you think outside of what this administration believes, you're at risk of being punished, at risk of being scrutinized, at risk of looking like the odd man out. I've just come to a place in my own personal life the last 10 years or so. I'm not living to please anyone, and I'm okay that you might misunderstand me. When I know what is true about me, I know what's true about me, right? But that's a consistent work. All right. So if you're interested in the complimentary 30-minute clarity call, send me an inbox. If you're watching through Facebook, inbox me. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to put my email here for you to reach out and title it this type of title it what I've titled this live. What kind of mind do you have as an adult? Or you could just put kind of mind to let me know that you watched the live. If you're watching the replay, let me know in the chat. Okay. If you are watching via Instagram, you can send me a message, direct message there, and let me know that you're interested, and I will send you the link to get that scheduled. Okay. Before I get off, just want to see if you all have any questions. Any questions for me? Any questions? Any questions or any thoughts? How was this? How was this live? You too, Jessica. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. You too. You too. Any questions? Any questions? And I'm going to do more to show my other side because somebody said, "Oh, Sarah's so serious." I'm not serious all the time. This is, you know what? As we're talking about this, I compartmentalize, and when I'm in this is so interesting. I'm having an aha right now. When I am dealing with people publicly, I am having an aha. Oh my God. When I deal with people publicly, I want to present myself a certain way. I do. That's eye-opening. So you know what? I'm beginning to think that maybe we have these mindsets in different settings and in different relationships. Maybe my socialized mind shows up when I am in front of people, and I don't want you to think I'm not educated and I don't know what I'm talking about. This is interesting. Oh, I'm having an aha. Very interesting. Okay. Okay, Jasera. Just be you on social media too. Bam, come on. Right, I do think I'm a comedian. I really do. Thank you, Tarina. Thank you. I really do, and I really do like to laugh. I really do like to laugh, and I'm gonna tell you something. Oh, this is good. I'm having my own breakthrough moment. I'm having a breakthrough moment. I was told that my laugh was too loud and that I was too loud as a woman. So if you know me, you know that I do talk loud. If you know me and you're around me, you know that I do like to laugh, and I have a very loud, hearty laugh. If you know that about me, if you're around me, you also know that I can snap back. I got this thing, right? I got this thing. I can snap back. You clap at me, you come for me, then I'm coming back, right? But I'm realizing right here, right now, that when it comes to and that's probably why I am having a whole aha moment sitting in this chair. Oh my God. Oh my Lord. Oh, y'all hear what I'm saying? Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Y'all see how see? Okay, and so this is playing out in real time because I am intentionally self-aware. Moments like this, because of my awareness, my self-awareness, and my intentional work, then I could allow this insight. I can create space for this insight to happen. This is so this is so interesting because other pieces sometimes I cuss. Sometimes I say some cuss words. Oh God. Now listen, I'm not saying that you have to just be buck wild. That's not what I'm saying. But I am having this moment right here, right now, where I'm like, one of the things I'm with my business coach, we are doing, I have so much that I'm proud of, that I'm working on, that I'm legit building the brand, and just I'm very proud of the work that I'm doing. But one of the things that my coach says to me, and now I'm having an aha, my coach says to me a lot, people connect with who you are, your authentic self, and they can feel and sense that from you. They can feel that from you. So I don't want to present as something I'm not. I want to present as the person that I really am. And that's the person that I want to be drawn to me. I cuss, especially in church. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna have to ban him from my lives. If you don't know that Bobby Roberts Doolin is my husband, I'm gonna have to ban him. Ban him from my lives. I don't cuss because I don't cuss in church. I don't cuss in well, it depends. It depends. Yeah. I remember several years back when I preached my first trial sermon. They used to have trial sermons. I was 21, and I preached my first sermon, and I preached from Jeremiah. Anybody who knows the book of Jeremiah knows that the book of Jeremiah is a hard text. And the title of my sermon when I was 21 years old was There's Whores in the House. There's whores in the house. I know you're just kidding, right? There's whores in the house. That was the title of my very first sermon. And I said that in the church. And I was preaching to a lot of pastors then. I've always been a leader's leader, and I'm just now really entering the space where I'm accepting that fully. I am a leader's leader. I'm called to leaders. I help leaders to become better. If you allow me, that's who I am. That's who I am at the core. There's whore. I promise. That's what I preach. There's whores in the house. That's what I preach. And my father was right there. He supported, cheering me on. Bless his soul. But I'm saying that to say, yeah, maybe I have cussed in the church. Oh God, I have. So thank you, Robert Doolin. Thank you. Oh God. Okay. Oh goodness. All right. Okay. Wow. 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 Okay. I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go. I believe you was led of the spirit. It might have been some in the church. Yeah, it actually was. That I preached that sermon, and the preachers that were there, the pastors that were there, they flooded the altar after. Sure did. Sure did. That should have been an indication of what my impact was going to be like. Uh-huh. They did. All right. Okay. So do me a favor, like the video, share it, share it with others. If you are not following me and you just found this live, do me a favor, follow me for more content similarly, right? I'm going to be infusing the clinical with the psychological, with the spiritual, with the astrological, and I'm going to merge all of that, the esoteric. So come back if you are interested and if this was a good live for you. Okay. I appreciate you all so much. I hope you have an amazing day, amazing day. Thank you again for your support, and I'll talk to you next time. All right. Bye.